It is that time once again. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, what's good, y'all? All right, we're gonna start this up. Let's see here. Let's see. First things first. We're gonna start in about 60 seconds, y'all. About 60 seconds. Let's see here. All right, go to studio. See, we syncing up. We got our audience. Yep, syncing up. Still waiting on Twitch. There's Twitch. Good. Okay. Let's go to content here. About 20 seconds, y'all. 20 seconds. All right, let's see here. Let's do it.
Warning, the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders is intended for a mature audience only. The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond since 2011. You're listening to the RCWR Show. Now, your host, live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Lee Sanders here. Checking out new RCWR Show 4, Wednesday night, March 3rd, 2021. What the hell is going on, y'all? How y'all been? All right, man. Long day I have had. Started off pretty early. I've pretty much been working on some slides for a power presentation and working on some stuff behind the scenes video editing wise for my final school project. It's my final exam. That's been keeping me a little bit occupied all day today, but it was nice to kind of take my mind off of some of that and check out some wrestling with y'all in real time. So NXT tonight, AEW tonight, we got Revolution coming up this Sunday. It's weird hearing an AEW pay-per-view on a Sunday. We've been so used to getting them on a Saturday. Felt very refreshing, kind of shaking up the system a little bit, so to speak. And now we're pretty much, okay, so we're doing Sundays. Okay, all right, cool. But I gotta tell you, when I just look back on both shows tonight, quality. What do I always tell you guys? Quality over quantity. And I gotta tell you, as far as the quality tonight, AEW definitely. Look, you guys that check out the show on a consistent basis, you know I truly try to come at this as unbiased as possible. I am probably one of the most neutral guys you'll come across when it comes to the talk of NXT and AEW. I'm willing to give constructive criticism where I see it's needed. And when praise is needed, I definitely will give that praise. But tonight, just overall, when I look at both shows, AEW had more quality, as NXT kind of lacked in quality. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was reflected big time with the ratings this week. But we'll definitely talk a lot more about that. Also, we'll talk about the little controversy there that's been going on with Joey Ryan. In case you had missed it, Joey Ryan making the news headlines once again, and not in a positive way, mind you. Not in a positive way, mind you. So we'll definitely talk about that and some more stuff coming at you live right now on Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, Twitch, the Facebook. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. It's nice doing another Wednesday night show for you guys. Seriously, that's been one of the benefits about having homework and being bombarded with classes on Wednesdays is that, especially, look, I don't know how it's going to be once I get ready to sign up for the summer classes that my college is offering, but I hope that as far as the Wednesdays go, we can definitely, assuming I'm able to continue to get the same professor for one of my classes, or at least have that professor that has that mindset. Okay, look, get you in, get you out. This is what you need to work on. Okay, rest of the time is yours. Go ahead. But my English class that I have that pretty much goes into the evening, our professor is like clockwork. She pretty much has us for, because we usually meet up twice a week. So the first night we're usually with her for about maybe an hour, and then pretty much we go do our thing. Then when we meet up on Wednesday nights, it's pretty much okay, where is everybody? Trying to get a good feel where everybody is with their learning and all that. And that usually lasts about 30 minutes. And then pretty much the rest of the time, it's okay, well, when you're not in your class, you're in between, work on your homework and everything. Make sure you turn it in on time. So it's been refreshing these past couple of weeks to be off way before NXT and AEW goes off the air, because as I told you guys repeatedly off and on past couple of weeks, I did miss covering NXT and AEW, sprinkling in a little tidbits of wrestling talk from other promotions and all that too. And we definitely got some other wrestling news we'll be able to get into here tonight. So I want to do this in a way where it makes a lot of sense. We're not doing too much badoop, jumping around and all that crazy shit. We'll stick with one promotion for this week. We'll spend all the time talking about AEW, key points and all that, highlights and all. And then we'll talk NXT, of course. But that way everybody's not kind of scratching their head, kind of going, it's hard to keep up, right? Makes a lot of sense. So, look, AEW tonight, this was the night. I mean, on top of this being the go-home show for their Revolution pay-per-view coming up this weekend. And by the way, as far as that Revolution pay-per-view, as far as predictions and all that, maybe we'll get into that potentially Friday, because I am off work on Friday. So maybe we'll get into the card on Friday. What did I tell you guys about the Friday shows? I said it just depends how I feel. The Friday shows are not guaranteed. The Friday shows are pretty much spontaneous. So if there were to be a Friday show, then I would probably most likely cover AEW picks, Revolution picks on there. Or worst case scenario, I'll probably just live tweet them while SmackDown is on, or maybe after SmackDown is on. We'll see. But AEW tonight, this was their go home towards their Revolution pay-per-view event. But also, this was the night that Shaquille O'Neal made his official now in-ring wrestling debut. And, if you wanted to maybe come at me and say, all right, your main event match, it's going to be Cody, Red Velvet, taking on Jade, Cargill, and Shaq, I'd go, okay, yeah, you know what? I'm cool with that. That's going to be your main event. That's how you're going to pretty much close it out. You're going to close it out strong. All right, I'm okay with that. That's cool. That's not what we had got tonight. Instead, all four of those cats opened up AEW. So you talk about a way to go in strong. I mean, hook, line, and sinker. You want to talk about, okay, well, these people have burgers, but so do these. It's almost kind of like the new Subway commercial that's floating around there, where you got them saying, well, my sub has onions, and well, my sub has steak. Well, my sub made more playoff appearances than yours. Well, my sub's got more rings than yours. It's almost kind of like that. And so when you're just sitting there and you're looking at the opening and you're trying to figure out, hopefully you kind of do like me rather than do the channel flip back and forth. Hopefully you're doing like me and you pretty much got two screens. You got your main screen and you got maybe the other show streaming on your tablet or whatever. I mean, that's how I always do it. So I don't really miss anything. But to see Cody, Red Velvet, Shaq, Jade open up Dynamite, and then you head on over to NXT and you're saying, okay, well, what's going on with NXT? What's their opener? And their opener is Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan taking on Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa. I mean, look, those are some damn good names that's in there. But in this particular instance, the whole Shaquille O'Neal factor and just everything with that, and the way that the marketing has been done and hyping up that match and everything. I mean, TNT for the most part, they definitely did a pretty good job in building this up. The way they were cross promoting, cross branding, and all that. You know, you had to, if you were like me, you had to. Okay, let's see what's going on with Shaq. Let's see what's going on with Shaq. I got to tell you, my biggest takeaways from the AEW opener tonight, off the break. How about that Jade? Jesus fucking Christ, man. That Jade Cargill. Oh my man, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Very seldom do I just, man, drop dead freaking gorgeous. But man, this was kind of like, I remember seeing Jade right at the beginning when she got in the face of Cody and the whole, but I didn't really look at her like that. So this was really my first time really just kicking back. Okay, let's see what this sister can do. I was very impressed. I mean, first of all, what a fantastic physique. What a fantastic physique. I mean, that girl, and she got some serious height on her. That's some serious height on that sister, man. But you want to talk about someone that looks like they were just made from stone, you know, chiseled from stone. I mean, she's got a nice. I mean, she's got that gladiator type of build that's going on. I can get behind that. And then on top of that, just the bombastic personality that she radiates. I mean, she commands presence. There is a great aura that's about her. I love the fact that when you look at this girl, this woman, you're literally going, okay, she can whoop somebody's ass. Now, I don't know, look, I'll jump out there. She look like she can even whoop a dude's ass. That's how badass she look. Okay, so she got all that going on, right? She got the whole aura, great commanding in-ring presence. And then on top of all that, she's good on the mic as well. 28 years of age. Future is very, very bright for this young woman. I'm very fucking impressed. Very seldom have I been taken back within the last, it's interesting because if I were to make, I don't know if I could do a top 10 list. I would have to really stop and really think about it. But if you were to ask me as far as, okay, within the past 5 years, who's some of those young talents that you feel really stood out to you, and you know what, we're definitely going to be talking about these cats for the next 5 years, 10 years. Off the break, I'd say MJF, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and now I just got to put Jade Cargill on that list. Without a shadow of doubt, I got to put her on the list. And and to think everything pretty much, just think about this for a second. Now look, yeah, she's still a little bit green in some areas, but just think about this for a second. She pretty much began her training in 2019 to become a pro wrestler. So just look at the basic fundamentals that she has been able to do thus far. If she was able to do that in essentially, damn near 2 years, just imagine where she's going to be 3 years from now, in ring wise. Just imagine where she's going to be. So very, very, very impressed with her. I'm telling you, as far as the upstock goes with her, a lot of potential, right down to the point. I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter. But after the match was over, I pretty much said with regards to her, hey, AEW, they've got themselves an awesome bona fide star right here. They've got a nice, cool, big breakout star right here in Jade. And they need to be smart in how they go about marketing her and how they go about pushing her and everything. And that's how impressed I was. I mean, I don't know how it was for you guys, to each its own, but for me, very seldom am I taken back by a performer, and it's to the point, okay, you got my attention. I want to see more of you. I'm like such an instant fan. It's okay. I want to see, all right, where else are you working? Are you going over here to this promotion? Are you going to, very seldom. But when you look at what's currently been going on with that women's division in AEW, I mean, look, they made great strides from launch to where we are now with the women's division. They've made great strides. They got some really cool, awesome names that's involved in that promotion now. No doubt about that. But if you want to talk about, okay, who can we, homegrown talent, you feel where I'm coming from? Homegrown talent, who can we really try to focus in on here and try to build this around, build a championship around, put a championship on this person, essentially build your division as a result. Or look at this women's division. Okay, we got all these great names for our women's division, but who are really going to be those cornerstone pieces for our division and everything? And Jade is definitely one of those cornerstone pieces. She just keeps doing what she's doing, and I'm telling you, she should be there in due time. See, I think probably just to kind of be a little bit devil's advocate, though, because we got to be real here. We got to be real here. We know that Kenny Omega and, really Kenny Omega, there is that Japanese wrestlers, and every time we turn around, we got to show that love there to those female Japanese wrestlers and everything. So, you kind of sadly have to have that in the back of your mind and everything, and wonder, hey, as good of an argument that I can make for Jade, you also just kind of have to look at the poor track record that's been going on so far and say to yourself, okay, I mean, you want the greatest example of that to a certain degree. Look at what went down with that women's tournament final. I mean, I guess that's a good segue. Maybe we'll get into no. Let's stay with the order that we're in right now. But marinate on that. Just have that in the back of you all's mind when we do get ready to talk about that tournament finals there. But yeah, so that's one great standout. Shaq. And a lot of you guys that probably didn't watch Dynamite tonight, you're probably going, well, Shaq, how did Shaq do? Shaq did okay. It's getting a little bit hot, and not because of this. I literally just opened this up, but it is kind of getting a little bit hot here. Let me just turn my air on. And we should be good here. But Shaq did good. He did the basic shit. I mean, he almost kind of moved like Big Show to a certain extent. Like Big Show in his early days when he was pretty much the giant. I kind of felt, basic shit, basic moves. I don't even recall Shaq doing a big boot. Now that I think about it, because you would think that, okay, well, if there's one move that a big man is going to do, a big man's going to do a big boot at some point. I don't even recall a big boot, to be perfectly honest with you. But as far as chops, power pressing, didn't he do a power bomb? I could have sworn I saw a power bomb. Yeah, there was a power bomb too. Shaq looked good, right down to the point. You cannot tell me differently otherwise. And look, that's the beautiful thing about doing shows like this. And, when we're all conversing amongst ourselves, when we meet up here, a couple of times a week and make sense out of this crazy thing that we love called pro wrestling and everything, talk about the good, bad, and the ugly, is our opinions aren't going to be the same. And you know what? That's okay. I would rather it be a case where we don't agree on every single thing. And thus, okay, well, this is kind of great dialogue. We can kind of go back and forth about this. I hear your points. You hear my points. It's healthy. It's healthy dialogue. We need more of that now than ever in today's society, by the way. But, no, for me, as long as I have been a wrestling fan, seeing other celebrities that have gotten involved in pro wrestling and just funk it up badly. Shaq actually went into this, I gotta say, because I'm being totally honest, I've watched Shaquille O'Neal as a basketball fan for decades now. Shaq, one of my favorite big men of all time from the NBA. Love Shaq tremendously. Enjoyed that ride with Kobe and the Lakers, all of that. I remember when Shaq got drafted to the NBA there. I remember that. Okay, that's how far back I go with Shaq. Shaq has been the king of pranksters. He is notorious for always being a jokester. He a jester. There you go. He's always been known for being a jester. So for me, looking at this match tonight, I was expecting a Shaquille O'Neal that was going to be coming out, doing a lot of showboating, and I was expecting some sloppy shit, to be perfectly honest. Now, I'm not saying everything that Shaq did tonight was smooth. There's a couple of rough edges here and there, but what I saw tonight from Shaquille O'Neal, he came off damn fucking serious. And for me, that just shows the dedication, the respect. That's the key word I really want to hold man on. Besides dedication, respect that Shaq has for pro wrestling and everything. To really go in there. And I mean, he was very, of all the celebrities, this for me, and when I say of all the celebrities, I mean celebrities that went into wrestling. And look, Andy Kaufman, hands down, simply the best. Simply the best. As far as outside celebrities, Andy Kaufman, for me, number one. Number fucking one. What he and Jerry Lawler did back in the day, number fucking one of all fucking time. But if I were to just go from that standpoint, just use that as a benchmark and just pretty much, okay, well, from here, let's keep on going. Where are we going next? I think right up under that, I think my number two, would probably be when Mike Tyson got involved with the WWE. Honestly, that would be my number two. Again, we're talking celebrities making their way in the pro wrestling and doing it in a way where they were showing respect to the business. Now, that would be my number two. My number three, I would probably put Shaq. I would most likely put, actually, let me stop and think about it a little bit more. Yeah, I think I would definitely give Shaq the number 3 spot. And to the person in the chat that's asking me about Big Show, look, I appreciate when you guys are asking me compound questions, but if you just listen, you're going to eventually get your answer, The way I do this, for anybody that's new, I mean, where I see it's convenient, like if I'm talking about hot dogs or something like that, and somebody says, I'll definitely slide in right there, and I can pretty much do it that way. But then otherwise, I just kind of just go with the flow of the stuff and everything. And I'm talking about stuff that I can remember, by the way. I know other people are probably going to bring up, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? It depends on the year that you're talking about. So far, like with the Andy Kaufman thing, obviously at some point I saw that when I got a little older. For me, pro wrestling pretty much began, I would say 83, maybe 84. That's when I was introduced to it. So you'd be surprised how much content that's out there that I've actually yet to see, quite honestly. Zeus. I think Zeus did a pretty good job just going off of, what went down in No Holds Barred. I thought he did a pretty good job in the transition there, even for that brief period of time where he went on over to WCW and all that. He did pretty damn good. But for me, I'm just talking about my personal list. Everybody's list, that's the thing. everybody's list is going to be different. My list is going to be different compared to your list and the next person's list. But for me, as far as standouts, celebrities making the transition, Kaufman, Zeus, Mike Tyson, Shaquille O'Neal. I would put it exactly in that order. There's going to be other names that everybody else is going to be thinking about. And what about this person? What about, again, it's all about, okay, well, one, was it really a special moment for you to see that? What did it mean to you at that point in time when you saw it? And a whole bunch of other stuff. But no, Shaq did pretty good. Third takeaway, Cody Rhodes. Cody was essentially the glue that pretty much had that whole match remain intact. Without Cody, that match is pretty much off the rails. Straight up. You know, it feels to me, I would not be surprised if at a later date, Cody were to say, you know, yeah, I had a significant hand in the way that match was laid out. I would not be surprised if in some shape or form he might have been the booker for that match to some type of degree. But it felt very like his fingerprints was just all over it. That's the one trademark about Cody Rhodes matches. Two things about Cody's matches. One, Cody's matches, minus the shit on AEW Dark and all that, we're just talking strictly Dynamite. The way Cody's matches are booked makes a lot of sense when you really kind of take a step back and you think about it. His matches, they make the most sense. The execution in which he's doing these matches, it's shit. Okay. His is the most... Let me use a food analogy. Real quick. And this isn't long-winded. You're hungry. Okay, well, you haven't eaten all day. You're going to go for a bowl of cereal? You maybe going to go for some Triscuits? Or are you going to say, nah, you know what? Eating one of those things, I'm just going to get hungry later on in just a few hours. Let me really stop and think about this. Okay, you know what? No, I actually want a full meal. I actually want some biscuits. I want some mashed potatoes. I want some steak. Let me go get that. I know I'll be good for the night if I eat that instead of eating that other stuff. Cody, like always, his trademark, he pretty much is the whole meal. He gives you the whole meal. Everything else on AEW Dynamite might be missing something here and there and all of that shit. But when it comes to Cody is pretty much, I'm going to do my best to have all the bases covered. That's the best way I can sum up Cody. You take away Cody, you take away Cody, and yeah, that's the biggest problem. Yeah. But no, Cody did pretty good tonight, keeping that whole shit together. And he made Shaquille O'Neal come off very believable as a threat. He made Shaq look, he did a damn good job in making sure that Shaq did not look like a goddamn buffoon. And I like that. I respect the hell out of that. So that was a really good, those are my 3 takeaways from that. And not to mention the other thing that I like about Cody that he doesn't get enough praise for. When Cody feels he needs to suffer a loss, even if he's not affected by it directly, if it's a case where it involves his team and his team essentially has to put the other team over, I love the fact that Cody doesn't fucking pull a Hulkster move and tries to do the whole fucking political bullshit. To the point, Jade Cargill and Shaq picking up the dub in this. You know, I wouldn't blame you though if honestly, if you were watching this match, I would not blame you guys if you said, fucking Cody, Cody Christ is going to fucking win this. I wouldn't blame you if you actually had that mentality. I would not blame you. But for me, it made all the sense in the world to have Shaq and Jade go over. And for me, it just makes all the sense in the world that, okay, for years, Shaq, Big Show, they've wanted to work together. They've wanted to do something together. Now that, and there was a really good interview that Cody gave earlier in the week. It was a conference call, and he was talking about Dark Elevation. He was talking about the new TNT AEW show that's eventually going to be airing. He talked about Shaq. One key thing that he addressed was, okay, so you got this match with Shaq, but now you got Big Show coming in there. And the way the question was brought about to him, it was pretty much, how did this come about with Big Show Paul Wight? How exactly did this come about? Was it a bit surprising to you? And Cody was very transparent during his interview. He said it just came from out of nowhere. Yeah, we think it's a little interesting that now we've got Big Show or Paul Wight and Shaq under the same roof. So anything can happen, but we never did pursue Paul Wight just because we had Shaq. The way Show became available, it was just basically luck of the draw. Is pretty much how he phrased it. So, I do believe that in this instance, Shaq going over, that made all the sense in the world. It's great headlines because just stop and just think about it for a second from a sports standpoint. You turn on ESPN, you turn on FS1. By the way, I would be very shocked if tomorrow FS1 did not cover that. I would be very, very shocked because, my God, you watch Undisputed and there's fucking LeBron James this, LeBron James that. Go James. Go James. Dak signing with the Cowboys. I mean, there is just a really bad trend that goes on for a lot of those shows on FS1. I would just, how could you not cover something that's definitely going to be fucking mainstream? Anytime Shaq does something that's mainstream, everybody is talking about it, even on your local news. Your local news is going to be covering it as well in their respective sports segments. So this makes really good traction, definitely, really good buzz and everything. And now that you've put this dub under his belt and everything, you've pretty much started him off undefeated. Eventually, you can go down that road of him and Paul Wight locking up. So, yeah, I do believe in my heart of hearts, eventually we are going to see Big Show, Paul Wight. Sorry, it's going to take me a while to get used to calling him Paul Wight. But eventually, we're going to see him and Shaq lock up and everything. But overall, really good opener for AEW Dynamite. Really, really good. I went into this match. Now, look, I don't want you guys thinking that with regards to this match, I don't want you guys thinking 5 stars. I would say a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being garbage, 10 being awesome sauce. I would probably put this match at a respected. I think 6 is as high as I can go. I almost want to say 7. Now some of you guys may say that's kind of low. You talked as if you were really, like an 8 or a 9. Definitely nowhere near a 9. Definitely nowhere near an 8 either. I'm fine at a 6 or a 7. A bit of an average match, but you really kind of watch this just to see Shaq, and your expectations were just, hopefully your expectations were low. My expectations were very low going into this match, and I walked away with all of those points that I had just made to you guys earlier. So good stuff right there. Good stuff right there. Match 2, Rey Fenix and Pac taking on pretty much created wrestler number 1 and created wrestler number 2. Squash match. I mean, this was pretty much over in about 60, 70 seconds. I just did not understand the purpose of this matchup, quite honestly. My whole thing was, alrighty. Next, Jericho, MJF. They came out with Santana and Ortiz and Wardlow. And this was pretty much the Inner Circle press conference that came up next. And, what this was really about was who was at this press conference. So we had a couple of guys from Barstool Sports. All right, cool. But then we had Eric Bischoff from 83 Weeks. Conrad Thompson was there as well. Conrad Thompson was there representing Grilling with JR. And pretty much this press conference opened up to the media, of course. And, they're asking, what's going on with Papa Buck? I think I called him Daddy Buck, but I like Papa Buck better. What's going on with Papa Buck? Is Papa Buck okay? And like true freaking antagonists, like true freaking heels, Jericho, MJF, who the hell cares about Papa Buck? He got his ass whooped. What more is there? So I liked how everybody that was asking questions, it was just pretty much what's going on with Daddy Buck. I like that. I never fucking am able to keep a straight face whenever MJF calls Conrad Thompson turkey tits. I mean, my God, man. I mean, him and Conrad, just what's been going on over the years and the way MJF just lights fucking Conrad up. I just shake my head and every time I go, God damn, this dude is savage. He is so fucking savage, and then I just laugh in hysteria. He's just so freaking quick-witted with his insults and all that. He's a king, man. He is a fucking king. That MJF, a fucking king. So we saw that. Bucks come out, and they gave this pretty short speech about their father and pretty much, hey, MJF, Jericho, what you guys did to our father, it was wrong. Our father taught us respect and faith and the usual spill that you probably have grown accustomed to when it comes to the Young Bucks. But a little brawl broke out. They pretty much were beating the crap out of each other. Saw some really cool high spots from the Bucks as the action went to the ramp area, and they did a little bit of high flying. One went up on top of the God, what do you call that? The tunnel. They actually had walked up on some structure that was behind the tunnel, and they pretty much did a nice dive off of that. The other one did a nice running dive off the stage, crashing onto somebody set up on a nice little wooden table. It was a nice little 1-2 spot that they did there. It was good shit. Next matchup, FTR and Tully Blanchard taking on the Jurassic Express. Good match. It was actually a pretty good tag match. I gotta say, it was pretty good. One thing that was a little bit funny about this, it's not every day you get to go into this match and say you lost to somebody that was damn near 70. Tully Blanchard is 70 years of age as we speak. Yeah, 70. He's 67 right now. He's going to be 68 soon. So, you see what Tully was able to do in there, and you're going, Jesus Christ. Like, this guy can still go. Okay. All right, cool. That's what I was really paying attention to the most. I thought maybe he was just going to go in there, get a hot tag on some occasions, and I thought he was maybe just going to go in, do a little stomp here and there. No, I mean, he actually was getting down. I was very fucking impressed. Very fucking impressed. By the way, just go back to Cody and Shaq one more time. One spot that had a lot of people talking during that match, and I actually got it queued up too. This was probably the spot of the night. Check that out. For those of you that's going to be listening to the audio version of this, I'm showing pretty much what was the end of the match, essentially, as Cody did this. And Cody's a tall dude, not for nothing. Cody just freaking bounces off of the ropes, runs off of it, and does this leaping body splash, cross body splash over the top rope, crashing into Shaq, who's standing outside on the apron, sends Shaq crashing through the wooden table. I mean, they pretty much were out after that. It was a nice little badass spot. By the way, what happened to Shaq's corpse? In case you guys missed it, something weird happened where they were loading Shaq up in the ambulance, and Tony Schiavone, I guess Tony Schiavone was trying to have his whole, "Hey Shaq, tell me how that defeat tastes." You know, if you guys read in between those lines that I just said, that's kind of a little homage to a little rap lyric almost. If you stop and remember the lyrics that Shaq had, it involved Kobe. But anyway, next thing you know, Schiavone opens the ambulance doors and Shaq is gone. Like his body just, and like it just in thin air. I mean that sounds like some Kevin Sullivan Taskmaster bullshit. Like what the fuck's going on there? You know, or did the Dark Order get his ass? What the hell happened there? I mean, crazy ass little mystery that's going on there, man. But no, anyway, yeah, Tully Blanchard and the boys, they did pretty damn good in this one. They got a little bit of help from somebody we haven't seen in a damn good minute. 10 ain't seen him in a good ass fucking minute. See, I know him as Ty Dillinger still. Sean Spears? Yeah, Sean Spears. He actually was a maxed individual that, you know, was helping out, causing a little bit of shenanigans behind the scenes. There was a whole lot of fuckery that was involved in this one, because even though FTR went over, they went over with some help. So I mean, you get help from Sean Spears, and then J.J. Dillon of all legends that was there. By the way, you know, side note, you know, we're talking about Tully, we're talking about J.J. Dillon, Eric Bischoff, Conrad, you know, Shaq. I mean, this was almost like well, kind of with the exception of Sean Spears. No disrespect, Sean, but this was almost essentially a star-studded kind of episode that we had here tonight. I mean, the bookers really tried to go into this one going top-heavy as fuck throughout the night. So the fact that they went in this first hour really trying to lay it on, I gotta commend them for that. Good matchup though between FTR and Jungle Boy and all them, Jurassic Express. Good match between all of them. Next up, oh yeah, and Arn Anderson came out too. Everybody throwing up the freaking Four Horsemen symbol. Just kind of marked out for that one, man. That was badass. Funniest moment came right after this though. I couldn't believe this shit, and I laughed my ass off when I saw this too. So, and I got a little bit of a bone to pick with AEW. Now, if you've been listening so far, I've been giving praise to AEW. Now, here's where the constructive criticism comes in. You have this awesome tag match with Tully Blanchard, FTR, against Jurassic Express. All right. Give the fans an opportunity to calm down a little bit, maybe go enjoy a piss break, whatever, smoke, whatever. Come back in a couple of minutes, pick the action back up. No, after the match is over, you get Tony Schiavone out there, and he's pretty much going right into his goddamn sales pitch about Paul Wight being the newest addition to AEW. And as Tony Schiavone is just shelling away there, you got freaking J.J. Dillon. He comes up to Tony and he says, "Hey, it doesn't get any better than what you just saw." And Schiavone snaps right back and says, "You know, well, not for nothing, but, you know, you ain't getting paid for that either." You know, it's kind of like that. So I'm just saying. And Dylan's kind of looking at him like, "You son of a bitch." And he just walks on, you know, little head down kind of walk of shame type of bullshit. I didn't like seeing that. That just made me feel so uncomfortable as a fan, because you have this great moment where you're looking at FTR, you're thinking about the comparisons to Four Horsemen and all that. You always hear how FTR reminds you of this nice throwback to tag teams of yesteryears. And oh man, just imagine if they were put in this era instead, or this era, or this era. So there's always that talk. And you get this monumental moment here where it's the freaking 4 symbol. Sell that for what it's worth. Have people go away feeling really happy, have a nice big smile on their face and everything. And if you want to do a commercial break, but maybe do a picture-in-picture, okay, cool, go ahead, do that. But nah, the guys didn't even get out the ring, and we went right into Paul Wight at AEW. That for me just rubbed me the wrong way. To each its own, but for me, that just rubbed me the wrong way. So he introduces Paul Wight. Paul Wight revealed some very interesting news. Of course, he's pretty much there promoting the hell out of the fact that he's going to be the new co-host for AEW Dark Elevation and everything. By the way, he came out in a new t-shirt. I think it's a rather clever shirt that he's got going on there. Check it out. Here you go, guys. And for those of you that's going to be listening on the downloads, if you haven't seen the new Big Show shirt, the new Paul Wight shirt, basically it's a black t-shirt. It's got blue text with a white borderline. It's kind of got a nice jagged design to it, the letters, and it basically says "No More BS," and in tiny little white font right up in between the B and the S is Paul Wight, but it says "No More BS." I think that is just clever as hell. I know a lot of people are probably ripping this shirt because a lot of people, when they think about their wrestling shirts and everything, they're going, "Oh man, look at this! Oh man, look! Oh man, look at the caricatures!" A lot of people they don't particularly care for text on their shirts, let alone simplistic text. They want something that, and yeah, you could make the argument. Really stop and look at this design here. I got it up on here just for a little bit longer for a reason. Yeah, the design is very simplistic. Yeah, it's not flashy, right? It's not loud. It's not extremely embellished, right? But when you really kind of stop and think about it, and think about as far as what we're going to be getting from Paul Wight in the near future, this is subtle. It's very simple. Hey, no more BS. Okay, all right, we get it. You're no longer the Big Show. All right, no more bullshit as far as insert whatever you want to insert. Now, one thing that I did love about Paul Wight being there, for those of you that didn't watch, if you were expecting for Paul Wight to be out there bearing the hell out of his former employer, he did not do that. There was not even a mention of the former employer. So for me, love that. That's how you do it. That is how you do it. I think we need to be just far removed from, I was at this other promotion and, hey, that's in the past. We're talking about the present. What are you doing here and now? What you're going to be doing going forward? That's what most fans care about now. We've heard that regurgitated stuff so many times over the years, it's not even funny. But one interesting piece of big news that Paul Wight revealed is that come this Sunday at AEW's Revolution, there is going to be a Hall of Famer, a legend, that apparently is going to be signing with AEW that very night. He's going to be signing a contract live at Revolution. So, you hear that, you're going, whoa. And Big Show promises, I say it there again, Paul Wight promises that this is a name that's going to send shockwaves. So, of course, we've got people that are, oh my God, who is it? Who could it possibly be? Who could possibly be signing with AEW? And this is how You know, people are just guessing without doing any proper research. This is how you know about the people that are making their rounds, checking out, little WWE docs, things of that nature throughout social media and everything. It was hilarious seeing people say Bill Goldberg. Folks, real talk. This is well documented. So you can easily go back and you can research this as it came out of Goldberg's own mouth. Goldberg's with the WWE at least up until 2024. At least until 2024. He's got a multi-year deal. So as far as Big Show, and that little, and you guys are thinking Goldberg, sorry, it's not Goldberg. So get that out your head. Not happening. Now, some people brought up Undertaker. Hate to burst that bubble. Again, this is kind of one of those, do your research, be on top of your shit. Anybody that watched the Last Ride 5-part miniseries, it was tackled how Undertaker eventually signed a new deal with Vince with the WWE. Enough said. Enough said. If you did not watch that 5-part miniseries, you really owe it to yourselves to go check it out. And if I'm not mistaken, that is a multi-year deal. So Taker should be good until at least 2023. But then even at that, I have to add this in addition. Now, something that was not covered during the Last Ride documentary. Triple H went on record in an interview about, I would say maybe almost 5 months ago. Feels like maybe it was even 6 months ago. But he went on record saying that he's had many conversations with Undertaker about being a trainer, being a coach down at the Performance Center, passing along all that great knowledge that he has to the next generation of talents to ensure that there is a really good transition to tomorrow's stars. And he went on record and said that Undertaker, knows that the offer is there. He's very, very interested. He pretty much said he is going to come back in some capacity and work with us. That's definitely on the table. But for right now, we're just giving him his space. We're allowing him to, enjoy himself. He's been at it for so many years now. We're letting him rest up and everything. But when he's pretty much ready to get back at it, this is what's going to be happening. So that's essentially set in stone. So as far as Undertaker goes, you can forget about that. The one wild card that is, right now is Brock Lesnar. That's the one that is, because you've heard all the reports from good, reputable sites, not no guessing motherfuckers, good, reputable sites that pretty much are saying, hey, Lesnar's deal, it had expired. WWE didn't want to renew. And of course, as we all have been talking, we've been going, kind of weird what's going on there with Lesnar. But remember what I had said recently. I said, okay, now that Lashley, I said this as early as Monday's RCWR show, go back and check it out on demand and downloads, people. I said, now that you've got Lashley as the WWE champion, hey, maybe we can have that money-making match between he and Brock Lesnar. And not for nothing, but Brock Lesnar's name has been dropped a lot within the past 2 weeks now. So is it possible that maybe Brock Lesnar could resign with WWE? Or is it maybe AEW there? So Brock Lesnar is definitely somebody that I would say for you guys, kind of have that in the back of your mind. I don't think it's, although that would be very interesting, I don't see it being Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista just seems very content where he is in his career, especially post wrestling. Remember, he wanted to come back for one thing only. He wanted to come back and pretty much get inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame. Want to have that one last match with Triple H and everything. So he pretty much got that. So that's a done deal. That's a done deal. Any other name that it escapes me right now, but anybody else that maybe you want to kind of throw out there? Remember, this is supposed to be a name that's going to send shockwaves, right? That's the key thing. It's supposed to send shockwaves. So just kind of looking at that, I'll throw another one out there. I'll throw two out there at you. I'll throw two more names out there at you. One name I'll throw out there at you. Booker T. Just saying. No reason behind it. I'm just throwing a name out there. It could be Booker T. Another name I'll throw out there at you. You should put some heavy consideration on. Mark Henry. Mark Henry's pretty much doing the whole radio thing these days. Yeah, once in a blue moon, he's done some stuff for the WWE as an ambassador and everything, but for the most part, he's pretty much just doing his thing. One thing that Mark Henry said interesting this past week, he said that he plans on wrestling in the next 6 months. I don't know if you guys remember that interview, but he said he plans on wrestling again in the next 6 months. So when you hear that, now, if you're a good interviewer, first thing you say to yourself is, so is he still under contract with WWE, first off? And if he is still under contract with WWE, just out of curiosity, who is it that he would like to face and everything? So for those of you that have missed that interview, or rather the comments that he made, he said it on his own show. And during the appearance, he talked about the run-in that he had with Randy Orton. And he revealed right then and there, as he was talking about Orton, how he'd like to come out of retirement. And the direct quote, "I'd rather get punked out than get my ass whooped." Randy Orton is not someone to mess around with if you're not 100%. Now, I'm walking on 2 feet. I'm 325 pounds. I'm lighter and trimmer than I've ever been. And I'm planning on having a match sometime in the next 6 months. I just want to have one match. And if Randy is the guy, so be it. Believe me, I'll be ready. And I won't be 1 foot on a push stool. He also went on to talk about how he wants to wrestle in this decade to match the Big Show's record, saying, I got to wrestle in this decade. I got to. Big Show has wrestled in 4 and I wrestled in 3. I can't let him have that over me. That's my brother, as close to one as I got in wrestling. I love him. I'm glad that he landed somewhere and feels appreciated. I'm glad we can see him get his just due. So, you know, a good interviewer, hey, are you still under contract with WWE as far as you know? So that's kind of a name I would kind of say have go around in the back of your mind there. But other than that, your guess, guys, is as good as me. This is kind of one of those, you know what? Just surprise me. I just want to watch as a fan. I want to be entertained. Fucking surprise me. Let's see what the hell happens. So let's not all try to figure out who it is. Let's just try to, those of us that's going to actually check out the pay-per-view, let's enjoy the pay-per-view for what it's going to be worth. You know, have fun, all that good shit, yeah? Let's see. Other than that, keep moving along here. Let's get into some more action here. Rio Mizunami defeating Nyla Rose. Interesting surprise there, because I thought for sure Nyla was going to get this. And that was a pretty damn good outing that she had last week against Britt Baker. And remember what we talked about when it came to the ratings? Remember, we talked about the ratings on last Friday's show. And remember how I told you guys, as far as when you looked at the quarter segment breakdowns, when you look at who had the best quarter segment numbers for the night, it was Britt Baker taking on Nyla Rose. That was first place. So I was a little bit surprised there that, AEW didn't try to capitalize on such good, strong numbers and essentially have Nyla go over here. I just kind of scratched my head on this one. Okay match. It wasn't as good as what went down between Nyla and Baker last week, but it was okay. That's about all I can say. It was all right. Nothing special, really. Kind of average, honestly. Next up, Tony Schiavone. After commercial break, he's back in the ring. He's introducing Sting. Sting comes on out. Schiavone's talking about how Sting is prepared, pretty much ready to go at the pay-per-view and everything. Talked about that powerbomb he took at the hands of Brian Cage, too, and everything. Ricky Cage comes out. I say Ricky Cage. Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks comes out, and he's putting over Sting big time. Giving him his props and everything, telling him how he's the man and everything. But then he shows his real colors and says, hey, you might be the man and everything. You still got it. I'll give you that. But you damn sure ain't no icon. And he bitch slaps the hell out of Sting. They start brawling each other. Next thing you know, Sting eventually applies a Scorpion Deathlock on Ricky. Hobbs comes out. Cage, Taz, all those guys come out. They're trying to do a nice little number on Sting. Darby Allin comes to the scene once again and saves the Stinger. And pretty much you got a nice little preview of what was to come for this weekend. So nice little spot that they did right there, mingling those cats. Fourth matchup of the night, 10 with -1 taking on Max Caster. Okay match. Didn't particularly care of the zoom ups of Matt's envelope. Yeah, that was more distracting, and it's like, okay, am I focusing on the match or am I supposed to be focusing on the envelope? Where are my eyes supposed to be, guys? Where am I supposed to be? Let's see. Fifth matchup, Matt Hardy and Quinn taking on John Silver, Hangman, Adam Page. Actually, I enjoyed that match. That actually was pretty damn good. I love seeing post-match the vicious side of Matt Hardy that came out and was just savagely beating the hell out of Hangman Adam Page, saying to him, I'm going to take everything that you own, all your money, everything, your possessions, everything is going to belong to me after Sunday. There's just no way around it. And next thing you know, you had, if I remember it right, -1. Yeah, -1. He actually had led a big-ass entourage of Dark Order members that all came out and were beating the holy hell out of Matt Hardy. It was a beautiful thing to see. I actually laughed my ass off seeing poor Matt Hardy get his ass whooped. But then next thing you know, pretty much the entire locker room just erupted where you just freaking see even more guys come out and there's just a big old brawl that's happening, and -1 is just at the top of the stage ramp just throwing his hands up and down. And he's like, I love seeing little -1 just jumping up and down there, and that's fucking badass. I love that dude, man. I love that kid. He's cool. And that's pretty much how Dynamite went off the air. Good show overall. Could have done without a couple of spots here and there, but overall, pretty enjoyable show. Quality wise, they definitely had it. As far as I was concerned. I'm trying to think if there was anything else in there. Yeah, yeah. It was pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't have anything else to add to that. It was actually a pretty good show tonight, just from a quality standpoint. NXT, on the other hand, if you enjoyed me talking about AEW and you can't wait to hear what I got to say about NXT, you're definitely not going to be feeling me when it comes to NXT. I promise you this. My NXT thoughts and review, it ain't going to be as long as what we just talked about with Dynamite. This was a bore fest, I got to be honest with you. We'll get into it in a hot second, but we'll get into that in a hot second. You guys been enjoying the show so far. Please go out of your way. Make sure if you haven't done so already, subscribe so you don't miss the great content that comes your way on a weekly basis. You can also hit that like, comment. For those of you that's checking this out, or maybe we'll be checking this out on the YouTube, Twitch and all that, click the little heart, the like. You do that, you pretty much let that algorithm team know behind the scenes this shit was okay. I actually enjoyed myself, had a good time. They recommend it to other folks to check out. Let's get into some Patreon shout outs, and then we'll go ahead and we'll talk about NXT next, and then we'll sprinkle in some headlines. We're doing excellent on Showtime, by the way. We're only about an hour, maybe 4 minutes into the show, so we're doing pretty good so far. Let me just crank this up a little bit though. I'm trying to crank my volume up just a little bit more here because I'm recording on the back end here and I'm coming in just a little bit low, but I think you guys should be able to hear me pretty good. By the way, even though I don't have it up on display yet, I can have it on display right now, but I will need to take it off again at some point because I'm going to be showing you guys some more stuff. But where is it? Here you go. I am able to see what you guys are saying in the chat. So please don't think I'm ignoring you guys again. Whenever I see it's convenient to kind of work my way into bringing in what you're saying, that's one thing. But please, there's people watching live right now. You can pretty much just converse amongst yourselves ultimately if you want while checking out the show and everything. But yeah, I got some more stuff that I'm going to be showing you, but I am able to see what you all are saying in the chat. So don't think I'm just ignoring, because I'm actually not. Shout out to our Patreon members at patreon.com/RCWR Show. That's where you can check out bonus audio video content you won't be able to find anywhere else. Shout out to Anthony DeBlasi, Justin Ripstock, Gino Morgan, Freddie, Michael Wolf, J.D. Davis, Tony Bing Gaming. You want the very latest in all things Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel's Avengers. He's covering some new games in between all that too. I think there's a new game he's playing. I think it's called Outsiders. I gotta double check and then see what's been going on with that one. But for your tips, tricks, news, walkthroughs, reviews, overall general news, Tony Bing Gaming. He's on YouTube. He's got a Patreon paywall as well. Appreciate all our Patreon Familia, our RCWR Nation. Without them, good content like what you're checking out right now would not be free, wouldn't be made possible. And shout out to Wishful Walking Videos. Make sure you check them out on YouTube as well. Let's get into some NXT here. This is probably going to be one of the shortest takeaways from NXT tonight. Look, again, Danny Burch. Look, as far as matches of the night goes, Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan, Timothy Thatcher, Tommaso Ciampa, yes. Finn Balor, Roderick Strong, yes. The Women's Championship, yes. Everything else was just, I'm good. Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan, taking on Timothy Thatcher, Tommaso Ciampa, that pretty much was your opener. This was good. This was good. If I can just kind of take a step back and just, minus the whole Shaquille O'Neal effect of an opener for Dynamite, just looking at what NXT had as an opener, I would say, okay, you know what? All right, for what it was worth, okay, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. But you already know when it comes to those damn numbers, I would be shocked to see if NXT's opening segment beat. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, hands down, you would just like to believe that Dynamite. See, they were in the 800,000s for their opening segment. Dynamite was. If that did not get them, I definitely think they're going to win in that segment. But if that didn't get 900 plus thousand viewers for that opener, that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Team of Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan, picking up the dub. Nice, nice and brutal, nice and ugly. Nice fucking brawling out. I loved it. I loved it. It was good for what it was worth. It was good. Pissed off Roderick Strong comes out shortly afterwards, demands that Adam Cole comes out. Finn Balor comes out instead and interrupts him to say that Adam won't come out for him. And Strong cuts Finn Balor off, blames what's currently been going on all on him. So they pretty much have their nice little back and forth that's going on. One thing that does get established is Finn Balor is going to be defending the NXT championship against Adam Cole next week. And he sends a very strong message to Roderick Strong saying that, look, as far as you go, you're never going to be at the top until you develop that killer instinct. And when he said that, that pretty much was fighting words. Strong pretty much decked the shit. He decked the shit out of Finn Balor. And that pretty much had set up our main event match for later on during the night between those two guys. All throughout the night. Now, here's where the biggest piece of buzzkill really kicked in. All throughout the night, we kept getting these scenes with Gargano, Austin Theory, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell. They're talking to this therapist. And basically, it's all about what Dexter Lumis has, essentially done to them physically, mentally, emotionally, all of that shit. I could have done without it. I could have done without that hokey dokey bullshit. Look, I know not everything is supposed to be serious. We're supposed to have a couple of laughs here and there. I'm down with that. I'm down for the haha. There was nothing funny about it. There was nothing, it didn't even have that Edge and Christian or that Breezango Files. It didn't even have that kind of vibe to it. It was, for me, I don't know how it was for a lot of you guys out there, but for me, it was a straight up channel changer. Now, I still have the split screens going as I'm watching, but I'm pretty much watching AEW more than what was going on every single time those segments were popping up there. I was more interested in what was going on with Cameron Grimes and everything else besides these. I mean, they did a lot of these. I think they did probably about 4 of these segments with the therapist. I didn't care for it. They spent way too much time. Just in out. Just get in out. But they had to make this be a major focal point and everything. Speaking of Cameron Grimes, we get to see him backstage. He runs into William Regal, who says, hey, that crew member that you decked last week, we've got some serious problems, as it looks as though he's probably going to sue. Cameron Grimes, hey, man, Ferrari Jaguar, switching full names, yelling with the top down, money ain't a thing, Jigga, I don't like if it don't bling bling, if it ain't got no ice, then you know what I mean. It's kind of one of those type of things that's going on. And William Regal's like, don't worry about the whole money. We're pretty much going to take care of it, but no, I don't want your money, but what I do want is for you to go out there later tonight because you got a match against Bronson Reed. And Cameron Grimes, once again, he's like, damn you, Ted DiBiase. Nice little name drops we got going on, too, for Ted DiBiase. You just can't help but kind of say to yourself, wonder if eventually we might see some type of an angle there where Ted DiBiase pops up and essentially puts this kid in his place, so to speak. By the way, you guys been following Virgil on social media? Virgil's talk about a guy that's got his finger on the pulse as far as what's going on with other promotions and all. He's been seeing what's been happening with Cameron Grimes, and as always, you got Virgil out there. Hey, that Cameron Grimes, he look like he going places. What he needs is me as his manager. It's like, okay, lonely Virgil. It's like, what happened to that AEW money? So you should still be getting that good AEW money. What the hell's going on there, man? But yeah, so Cameron Grimes having that match against Bronson Reed later on in the night. Leah taking on Amber Moon. Moon picking up the dub. Pretty much happened in about a little bit over 3 minutes. Okay. It was all right. Honestly, it didn't really do anything for me. Could have done without the match, quite honestly. And that's despite the fact that Shotzi Blackheart was out there. Now, see, if you would have done Aaliyah and Shotzi, maybe you would have had something going on there. Maybe I'd been a little bit more interested, but yeah, that was just weak sauce for me. For me, as far as the women go for tonight, definitely the women's tag match championship. Nia Jax, Baszler, taking on Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez. Nia, Raquel matched up pretty damn well. I personally felt. Good ass tag match. A little bit of fuckery going on in this match too that makes me kind of wonder, okay, so where are we going here on the road to WrestleMania? We got that pit stop at Fastlane, but then what's going down at Mania? Because we had some serious fuckery that went down in the final minutes of this match, final moments of this match, where we saw Raquel Gonzalez. She's bouncing off of the ropes. She does this nice big boot to the face of Nia Jax, if I remember it right. And then they're brawling outside the ring, and Raquel pretty much tackles the hell out of Jax. And they both go crashing through an announcer's table. The way they kind of crashed, it was more like the table didn't collapse as far as I remember, but they pretty much crashed into the table and then rolled over the table to the other side. So that pretty much took care of them. Meanwhile, you had Dakota Kai, who essentially had her hands full with Shayna Baszler once before she was able to get out of Baszler's trademark submission hold. But this go round, fuckery really came into play here because she fucking applies the move again, and somehow the first referee gets taken out of the equation. But then randomly, Adam Pearce, of all people, running to the ring with his own ref, telling the ref to go count. And ref gets in there, sees that frickin' Dakota Kai can't come to, calls the match. Jax, Baszler retain their women's tag titles. So you look at that, you're going, okay, there's a little bit of fuckery that's going on here. Stop and think about it. What did that mean for Adam Pearce to interfere? Really stop and think about that. Essentially, whoever wins those women's tag titles, they pretty much, you feel where I'm going? You know where I'm going with this, right? So Raw would pretty much no longer have that exclusiveness to those titles, right? So, okay, it makes all the sense in the world that you got Adam Pearce that, it's a little uncharacteristic though for Adam Pearce, I have to say. It almost kind of makes him come off slightly bipolar, because what we've seen from Adam Pearce's character so far from a managerial standpoint is, okay, this is a guy that's pretty much going to shoot from the hip. He's going to try to work with you to a certain degree. He's going to try to fulfill your needs and all that. You just got to pretty much do things his way. And he comes off not corruptible. You feel where I'm coming from? I can't help but wonder, And what would make a lot of sense is if we go to Monday, what's going to happen there? Are we going to see some type of a backstage segment where Nia and Shayna, they give him thanks for, the assist, and he's still pretty much face when he says, hey, don't thank me, thank Shane McMahon? Because that seems to be the trend as of late. Whenever there's some type of weird, controversial shit, Adam Pearce is so quick to that wasn't me. You got to talk to Shane. So I can't help but. And then here's the other thing. What would have happened had that ref not came out? What would have happened had Adam Pearce not been there? Would that match somehow have continued? Would we have eventually seen new tag champions? We'll never really know now. So there's got to be some type of ramifications from this, right? You would like to believe that, just the way that they kind of ended there. I mean, you had some serious controversy there. So I'm very curious if Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez make their presence felt on Monday Night Raw, and that pretty much maybe carries over into Fastlane, or if maybe we're gonna see them collide at WrestleMania. Kind of had that in the back of your head there, but that's how I'm looking at that. Bronson Reed taking on Cameron Grimes. This pretty much came right after LA Knight made his official in-ring, I guess you could say in-ring. He didn't wrestle, but it was his in-ring debut for the NXT TV show. He appeared on there, cut a really good promo. He basically, promo that he cut, he said, look, Tom Brady may be the GOAT and everything like that. He's pretty good at his job. Just as me, LA Knight, just as I am in wrestling. He wasn't a first round pick, but he still shines. He gets the job done. And as far as he's concerned, he's the last of a dying breed. And by the time he gets done laying down his foundation in NXT, people are not just going to call him the GOAT because he feels that's played out. They're just going to call him LA Knight. So you're like, oh, okay, cool. Look, I'm happy. I didn't really get a chance to really talk about him like that. And not to be long-winded either, but I think it's awesome that LA Knight is there in NXT. I think it's phenomenal because he's a solid worker. There's nothing extremely flashy, over the top when it comes to him in the ring. Nothing overly dramatic. Just overall, look, I'll be the first to tell you, when I think about his matches overall, I've never walked away from a LA Knight / Eli Drake match going, that was fucking phenomenal. That was 4 stars. That was 5. I've never done that. Never. So, but where he lacks as far as in the ring, he makes up for big time with his bombastic personality. I mean, the guy just oozes fucking charisma. Big time fucking charisma. One of my favorites from Impact Wrestling. He would have thrived, I think, extremely well, potentially, in the Attitude Era. I mean, there was a lot of real estate that was going on there, but whether it would be for WCW or WWF, I think he would have done pretty well, pretty damn well. I dare say, maybe, just maybe, he would have been a good member there in DX. You just never know. But he holds himself up pretty damn good. Liked his shit that he was doing in NWA and everything. By the way, we do got some NWA news that we'll need to get into later on. But I'm very curious to see what he's going to be able to do. I want to know. It looks like his first feud is maybe going to be against Bronson Reed. That's kind of safe to say, because he wasn't really done cutting his promo when Bronson Reed's music hit and he comes out and everything. And he pretty much gets out of the ring, gives Bronson Reed his space and everything. But just when we thought he was gone, he actually comes back almost towards the end of the match. And it's almost like he was playing buddy chum a little bit to Cameron Grimes and everything. And I actually remember, now that I'm thinking about it, he actually crotched the hell, low blowed essentially Bronson Reed from behind the referee's back, helping Grimes hit the cave in to pick up the dub. So yeah, so as far as the first official feud there you go. Bronson Reed and LA Knight. I don't know, every time I hear that, I just keep going LA Law, and then I'm also thinking about Michael Knight, Knight Rider. So weird shit that's going on there. Let's see. Other than that, Kaden Carter, she's interviewed about Casey Catanzaro's partially torn LCL. Talked about how she's hurt and pissed that Xia Li took her friend out. Now, she has the big task to face Xia Li, but she's not scared of her. Apparently, that's going to be going down next week. So that should be pretty good. Breezango taking on Everrise. Didn't happen because Legado del Fantasma attacked Breezango during their entrances. And Everrise, they applauded them, but then LDF, they pretty much chased them off as well. Santos Escobar comes out, beats them up, grabs a microphone, saying what went down last week. Pretty much no mistake for weakness. And yeah, so they're not done with Killer Cross just yet, not by a long shot. William Regal, he follows up on the aftermath from the fallout on that women's tag team match for the titles. He said he was very aware about what went down, but he'll be making an announcement next week that apparently is going to change the landscape of NXT forever. Okay, so what's getting ready to happen right here, you think? Hint, hints. What do you think? What do you think's getting ready to happen here? Finn Balor, Roderick Strong. Good closeout for NXT tonight. No more Undisputed theme. No colors and all that for Roderick Strong, by the way. Good ass match between these two. This for me felt like a pay-per-view quality type of match between these two. Enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that they went as long as they did. I love the fact that Roderick Strong was essentially, when you really kind of take a step back and you think about it, I mean, we know how decorated of a professional wrestler Roderick Strong is and everything, but it just felt like when you go back to how NXT pretty much opened up, Balor taking the shots there at Strong. Yeah, you don't have that killer instinct. You'll never be able to reach that next level and everything. You saw some shades tonight that just, no, wait a minute here. No, we might be on to something here. We might be on to a future NXT World Champion here in Roderick Strong. We definitely, you feel where I'm coming from? So I like this match on so many levels because I really kind of looked at this match as essentially Finn Balor, helping elevate, almost kind of like the same way, so to speak, Cody did a really good job in helping out Shaq, trying to make him look really good and everything, while at the same time making sure he gets in his shit. You could kind of look at Finn Balor, Roderick Strong, and almost that same kind of sentiment. Closing moments of this one, Strong looking for a gut buster, Finn countering into a double foot stomp, then connects with the sling blade, goes in for a drop kick. After that, coup de grace, wraps it up with the 1916, picks up the dub. NXT pretty much ends with Adam Cole doing his human interpretation of the angry monkey that's pointing at you, as NXT pretty much went down with Cole and Finn having their stare down. Next week, we got two monumental matches, as it's kind of being dubbed a Champions edition of NXT next week. We're going to see Finn Balor defending the title against Adam Cole. And then in our other matchup, it's going to be Tony Storm taking on Io Shirai. Sorry about that, guys. Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. So 2 awesome matches that we got going on there. I'm looking forward to that. That should actually be pretty damn good. It's kind of smart that NXT did it the way that they did it this week. You know, you want to try to be competitive, but at the same time, if you know that you're probably not going to win this week, you know, hold it off until the week after. No, they're doing it right. We'll see if it pays off, though. That's the real question. We'll see if it pays off. So remember the ratings from last week. We were talking about ratings from last week, and just to do a nice little brief recap here, let me look at the numbers. Let me look at the numbers from last week here. Bear with me a second. I got it here. I think, is this it? No, that's not it. I was pretty damn close when it came to the numbers from last week. Hang on. Actually, interesting. I don't see, let me look at my notes here. Hang on, guys. I'm pretty sure I got it. That's weird. But, Casey Catanzaro, for those of you that might be a little bit curious, while I'm continuing to look for the ratings numbers there, it is legit what's going on with her torn ligament there. Let me show you guys something here. This is, I'll show you that later. This is what's going on with Casey right now. So there's no telling how long she's going to be out. But yeah, doesn't look good, right? I would imagine that suddenly all the people that were trolling the hell out of her and said the shit that they had said about, you know, you say you're practicing smart social distancing, yet, you know, here you are, you know, at this club and you're doing this stupid shit over here. You feel where I'm coming from? I bet now they're kind of looking at what happened with her and they're probably saying to themselves, oh man, that fucking sucks. That you know, hopefully they're feeling a little bit bad right now. Because, I mean, look, you don't want to see that. That's the last thing you want to see. You don't want to see somebody suffering like that, because essentially we're talking their livelihood, how they're making their money and all that. All that is pretty much being taken away from them. You don't want to see shit like that happen. So hopefully it's not as bad. And as far as recovery and all that, hopefully she can be back in a timely manner and everything. But I got the numbers here. All right. So remember, we talked about the numbers from last week and I did pretty damn good. We talked about it on Friday's show. So go back and check out last Friday's show. But again, AEW did 831,000 while NXT did 734,000. So keeping that in mind as far as what I think is going to be going down on this week, I'm going to say, and I'm actually gonna type this in the chat as I'm speaking. I am going to say, that way it is in black and white here and you guys can remember the timestamp. I am going to say NXT. Let me really look at this, guys. Let me really look at this. I'm going to say NXT 600 and something. I'm going to say NXT 689,250. And AEW, I'm going to say that's got to be 900,000. That's got to be. It's got to be. Anything less than that would be a bust. So Let me think about this, guys. Let me think about this. I'm going to say 904,000. Hang on. Yeah. I don't know. That's a tricky one. I'm thinking about this now. Yeah. Because we talking about the Shaquille O'Neal factor and all that. I'm going to say 904,000 for AEW. So let me go ahead and type that in there. All right. Boom. It's official. So again, I'm looking at NXT for this week. I got them dropping. They should be 689,250. AEW, I'm seeing 904,000. So we'll see what comes from that. But definitely, I'm seeing AEW pick up the dub. Now, as far as the combined viewership for this week, so just taking that, I mean, that's definitely over 1 point. What's that? 1 point. I think that's over 1.5 million. Let me look here. That's the other one I want to get down to for you guys. Yeah, so we're talking another 1.5. So it looks like about 1.593. 1,593,000. Yeah, that's about accurate. That's about accurate. I don't see it being any higher than that. So slightly up again when you look at the combined viewership. So we'll see what happens. It was funny because somebody on social media had said to me, ratings don't matter. And I'm thinking to myself, right after I read a comment that begins with ratings don't matter, I don't even bother finishing the rest of reading that tweet or that post, because it's like I automatically dismiss it. I'm like, okay, if that's the case, then again, the argument I've been making for years now, if that's the case, then some of our favorite TV shows would fucking still be on the air. If ratings did not matter, Impact Wrestling wouldn't have jumped around all them fucking networks that they fucking jumped around, man. I mean, seriously, ratings do matter. You know, whether some of you guys want to admit it or not, at the end of the day, it is all about that ad revenue, because that's what ultimately is being affected. It's about that bottom dollar. Everything. Look, you can make the greatest fucking hamburgers in the world. The greatest hamburgers in the world. Your family loves them. Your best friends love them. That's great and everything. But man, you know, imagine if you're trying to turn that into a business. If all you're feeding is your friends and your family, you're not really going to last that long, right? I mean, you got to really expand upon your brand. You got to really fucking build it. You got to really fucking space out and shit. You feel me? So no, sadly, if ratings did not matter, Black Lightning would not be canceled. I'm still heartbroken by that. Black Lightning is, this has been a really good season with Black Lightning right now. I wasn't even going to talk about Black Lightning right now, but, you want to talk about probably one of their most strongest seasons to date. I love seeing everybody complain about how slow paced this season is. And a lot of people just aren't getting behind a really good. If I were to sum up season 4 of Black Lightning so far, personal conflict. That's the main theme for this episode. We are seeing personal conflict with different members of the Pierce family. Jefferson, as we've seen, he's still reeling with the loss of Henderson. We've got fucking Lynn, who is she a druggie? Or is she not? It's weird what's going on there with Lynn. We got Jennifer, who is having weird malfunction problems with her powers, and there's serious consequences for her actions because she is so focused on trying to tell her narrative, control her narrative, but not really looking at the bigger picture at the same time. So we see what's going on there. I mean, there's so much conflict that is going on. But this past episode that aired on Monday, I think was a pivotal point. I really do. I'm going to put a major spoiler out there because I don't really know how to get around it. So if you guys don't want to hear me talk about Black Lightning and you haven't heard or watched the episode yet, you may want to just dip out now, and come back in about 5 minutes, and I should definitely be done. But I've warned you, I'm getting ready to go into it now. But much like remember how Black Lightning began? Black Lightning began pretty much with Jefferson Pierce having been retired as the hero for like 10 years. He puts on the suit again to save his daughters. That's why he did it. So when you look at this monumental episode that we got this past Monday night, you're led to the impression by the way it ends that, okay, now we have our seed that's planted and how he's going to go back into the suit once again. It was almost kind of like he had to do some serious crashing and burning there. By the way, him taking up the MMA fighting there on Lala's turf. Like, dude, what are you fucking thinking? You know that Lala pretty much has footage of you. And you're now in a position where he could essentially blackmail your ass. Right? But no, like, it seems that Lala legit is trying to just give Jefferson an opportunity to exercise those demons that he has and everything. But once he sees that, okay, this guy's just continuing to win these fights, he starts telling him, hey, look, you've been on a really good roll. I'll give you that. But you're starting to hurt my business a little bit. Maybe time for you to get on out while the getting is good. Jefferson ain't trying to hear that shit. He is not trying to fucking hear that shit. So, but just thinking about shit like that, and you're going, okay, Jefferson, think, man. What the hell? You're being reckless here. Because, Black Lightning wouldn't do that. Black Lightning would not fucking go underground beating people's asses. No. Black Lightning, once he would find out what the fuck is going on with Lala and this latest business endeavor that he's doing, he's going to fucking shut that shit down. He's going to destroy the motherfucker. Very reckless. So you've got that. Let's not forget what Jefferson did to those cops, pretty much the season 4 opener. All right. So he's kind of quietly being investigated on that front. So there's consequence for every action, be it good or bad. There's always a consequence. And so this season, personal conflict, but then consequence for every action. That's the main theme. That's the main theme I've been noticing. But it seems as though a seed has been planted as far as how he's going to get back into the suit and everything. I can't wait to see how that happens. I can't wait to see that. By the way, I don't know if you guys are aware, but your man did a unboxing over the weekend. And I want you guys to check it out when you guys get an opportunity. But speaking of Black Lightning, I actually took the liberty of doing a unboxing on this DC TV Direct Black Lightning statue that stands about 12 inches tall. Check out the unboxing. Oh, check out the unboxing when you guys get a chance. I have put it up on the YouTube channel. Pretty fucking badass. Speaking of like cool things and all that, check this shit out. This I want to show you guys. Look at this. Feast your eyes on that bad boy. That is the new Stone Cold Steve Austin Smoking Skull. Well, no, it ain't a Smoking Skull, but it is a skull belt. I personally like the Smoking Skull one. But feast your eyes on this. This is being dubbed the Stone Cold Steve Austin Legacy Championship Collector's title. And for you techies out there that like your specs, the material, zinc alloy plates with silver plating. Real leather and embossed painting. Epoxy and crystal. The size of it, main plate 11.4 by 11.9. Thickness 6 millimeters. Skull face 40 millimeters. The strap is about 54 by 12.8. Thickness is 6 millimeters. The weight of it is about 8 pounds. Each end plate is individually numbered 001 to 500, as there's only 500 of these that have been made. And the skull itself, poly resin with paint. Size 4.1 by 5.9 by 4.6. Weight of that is 0.98 pounds. It comes in a box. The material of that box, MDF box with printing, metal hardware, PU patch. Size 31.6 by 21 by 6.4. Weight of that box is about 22.93 pounds. So the total weight of it, it's over 30 pounds. It's over 30 pounds. And this is pretty much just in time to celebrate 25 years of the Stone Cold era. Now, you all may be asking yourselves, how much is this going to cost me, Lee? How much? I can tell you right now, that's going to set you back a cool $1,000. You heard me right. This belt is going to set you back a cool $1,000. Now, I don't know about you guys, but you know what would have been even more cooler about this? You know what would have been even more cooler? If Stone Cold Steve Austin would have signed those. How do we not put ourselves in a good position, WWE, where you constantly have this access to Stone Cold when he's doing the stuff for the WWE network and all that? We can't get him to sit down and sign these bad boys. If you're only going to do 500, just think about that. If you're only going to do 500, man, you know what really would have been cool too? You know what really would have been cool too? Not to fuck any fan up, but WWE could have went two ways with this. They could have went in and they could have said, hey, look, we're going to do 500 of these and they're all going to be signed by Steve Austin. If you miss it, don't worry. We're going to bring it back. But when we do, they ain't going to be signed. This is pretty much going to be the belt. Could you just, or you could say, hey, Steve Austin, out of these 500 titles, Steve Austin signed 250 of them. So just at random, you could get a signed belt. Don't you think that's cool? Like, I mean, seriously, that's badass. Do that. But yeah, $1,000 for that. So, steep. That is steep. I'm telling you. But you know what? It's pretty cool. It's pretty fucking cool. Look, if you got the money, you that Stone Cold fan, you might want to check it out, man. You might want to seriously check it out. See. So, WrestleMania tickets. Looks like WrestleMania tickets for the Raymond James Stadium is apparently going to be going on sale next week. Those are the reports that's floating around there. Apparently, there's going to be a test event this coming Friday to work out any possible issues with ticket sales when the official joint happens next week. And it turns out, on a related note to that, WWE superstars were told several weeks ago that friends and family comp tickets would either be severely limited or just not available at all due to the COVID-19 protocols. So More on that as we get a little bit closer. And also, speaking about WrestleMania, we now know what's going on with the next NXT TakeOver event. I meant to point this out to you guys on Monday night, and somehow it slipped my fucking brain. I saw this shit, and I meant to actually bring it up on the show, and sadly, I forgot. But if you were to try to cancel, hang on a second here. If you were to try to cancel the WWE network right now, you would get this splash screen upon canceling. And it's pretty much letting you know that if you cancel your subscription access to the network, you're going to miss March 21st's Fastlane, April 8th's TakeOver event, and you're going to miss WrestleMania, which is going to be on April 10th and the 11th. But, you know, for the longest time, we're like, when is the next TakeOver event? Like, you're kind of wondering what's going on there, as no announcement was made yet. So apparently it's going to be going down April 8th, just 2 days before WrestleMania. So, yeah, and I meant to actually let you guys know that, because I actually did go on ahead and cancel my network subscription. And I had canceled it because basically I had the account that I use normally to pay for my network subscription. I basically was given a pre-card for my birthday. So it was like a belated birthday gift. And I had pretty much used all the money on it these past couple of months for the network. So I just said, okay, I'll just let that run out, and then I'll just go on ahead. And so I actually saw that message about, oh, you're going to miss this, you're going to miss that if you cancel right now. I saw that and I was like, huh, yeah, but never fucking clicked. Sorry about that. Never fucking clicked. But yeah, now you know. I hope it goes well. I hope that WWE tries to do their very best to work with the great team of the NFL and also the NBA, and pick their brains, make sure that, hey, as far as how we can pull this off, making sure that it's a success, no problems. Last thing we want is a freaking super spreader and all that. You feel me? Hopefully it'll go off without any problems. You know, the more success, the better. So I see our boy Joey Ryan has made the news yet again. No bueno. No bueno. That's all I got to say. No bueno. So let me see if I got this right. We got to get you guys caught up to speed too. So first off, one of the women that Joey Ryan had sued, and I believe he actually won that case, he decided, nah, you know what? I'm just going to drop it. I'm going to drop the charges. I'm going to drop the lawsuit altogether. It's okay. It's not worth it. Fuck it. I'm done. So you're like, okay, well, gee, I guess that was nice of you. Whatever. But then a lot of controversy goes down pretty much last week. All the good shit usually goes down as we pretty much go right into the weekend, usually. I'm noticing the trend there. All right. So there is a wrestling promotion that Joey Ryan founded back in 2017 called Bar Wrestling. And anybody that's checked out his shoot videos, things of that nature, you pretty much know this, right? Most people don't. And it's okay. But Joey Ryan decides, okay, you know what? I want to get back into pro wrestling. What's the best way I can get into this? And I can pretty much, you know, kind of say I'm sorry and all this other shit. So he decides to put together this event that you see here on the screen. He decides to put together a Wrestling for Women's charity event. And it was supposed to be happening on Saturday, March 20th, live, Jackson Terminal. And I want to blow this up for you guys just a little bit more so you can actually see some of these people that apparently were supposed to be part of this event and everything. So look at that. It looks like we've got the I don't know her name, but starting down here where my cursor is, I think Gabby. I think that's her name, Gabby. The girl over there at Impact Wrestling, I think. I think that's who that is. We got Sunny Kiss. We got Molly Holly. I could be wrong, but this looks like Brody King right here. This looks like Melissa Santos. There's the masterpiece, Chris Evans. That looks like it might be Darby Allin. I can't say for certain. This is definitely Brian Cage. No doubt about that. Who's this? That kind of looks like the Young Bucks. Let's blow that up a little bit more. Who is that? Kind of hard to tell. Yeah? Kind of hard to tell. We got Rhino in there. We got Carlito. Let's see, who else we got in here? Hey, we got one of the Rascal dudes. Cool. That kind of looks like JTG, but I'm not really sure. So when in doubt, just keep going. Hey, man, I ain't seen him in a good fucking minute. My man. Oh shit, I'm thinking Brood. Oh God, why is his name escaping the tip of my tongue right now? Gangrel. We got Gangrel. Is that Davey Boy Smith Jr.? That looks like Davey Boy Smith Jr. Okay. Hey, one of the guys from the Bludgeon Brothers, Eric Rowan. Okay, cool. This guy right here kind of looks like Jacob Fatu a little bit. I don't think that's him though. Kind of looks like him though. This guy almost kind of reminds me of Rodney Mack, but I know that's not Rodney Mack. That's about all the people that I can pretty much recognize right now. So all the people I can pretty much recognize. Now, here's where things get very interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and close this down. And again, this was the women or wrestling for women's charity. Again, the wrestling for women's charity. So it seems pretty good, right? Nice little cool event that's being organized, but let's just zoom. You know, there's one face that just, wait a minute, how did that get in there? It's kind of like you wake up one day and there's just a weird fucking bump on your dick. I've never had that, knock on wood. But you know, you just like, wait a minute, there's something weird going on here. Wait. And you just, you know, like, I just gotta blow this up just a little bit more here. I still can't quite, let me just blow this up just a little bit more. Bear with me, people. This is the best part about being live on the show. I just get to fucking troll like a motherfucker on here. There we go. Okay. Is that? Yeah, it is. That's fucking Joey Ryan. And so everybody's in a fucking outrage because they see that Joey Ryan is on the fucking flyer and everything. And they're going, what the fuck? What is this guy doing on this show? How the fuck can anybody work with him? Blah this, blah that. I'm seeing all this shit as it's going on in real time, and I'm just being quiet about it. But the first thing that's clicking in my mind is Joey Ryan is the founder of Bar Wrestling. He's the guy that's pretty much behind all this shit. So, you know, and it was nice just seeing people just play a game of Guess Who and all that shit. And it was so bad you had fucking Tony Khan, you know, right after it was revealed. Oh, wait. So not only is Joey Ryan involved in this, but wait, apparently he's the one that owns this fucking promotion? Like what the hell? So, you know, you have Tony Khan. Look, I like Tony. I do. I like Tony Khan. But showing how naive he can be as a booker is an owner of a company, a wrestling promotion company, it's not a good trait. To go on social media and say, if Joey Ryan is there, my people won't likely be there. I'll gladly donate to the charity, though. It's like, no, don't even say that. Don't even say that. You don't need to let your voice be heard on social media. It's your action that will basically speak loud for you. So if you're that business promoter and you find out, wait a minute, somebody's doing what with who? Oh, no, no, no. Call our guys up right now. That's not happening. That's not happening. Anybody that had accepted the booking and maybe they were already giving money, we'll work something out. But no, we need to pull them out right now. Let's make it happen. But then for Tony Khan to follow up with another tweet and say, wait, if he's behind this, is he? Then is this charity even legit? These are questions that you pretty much should already have the answers to. So you see, from my standpoint, I know everybody, and you've heard me from time to time say cross promotion would be awesome between different promotions. It would be badass and everything. But see, now you kind of understand to a certain degree why WWE has continued to operate the way that it's operated when it comes to, hey, any bookings, any shows, any podcasts, radio shows, TV appearances, movies, blah this, blah that. You pretty much gotta pass it through us first so we can review it and then pretty much go from there. And for me, seeing Tony Khan's responses to this, you listen to the show enough. I've never really taken any personal shots at Tony Khan. You've never even really heard me. You definitely haven't heard me make fun of him, as far as I can recall. You've never heard me make fun of him. He reminds me of a quirky as Jeff Goldblum. I know you guys can see that too. He reminds me of a quirky Jeff Goldblum, particularly from The Fly or even Jurassic Park. He's got that kind of quirkiness to him. But you've never heard me. This is probably the first time that I ever had an issue with something that Tony Khan said. It's like, no, don't show your hand like that. Because if you were playing a game of poker, oh my God, you'd lose big time. It's like, no, don't reveal what you know, when you know it, and all that other shit. You just quietly do what you need to do behind the scenes, and then you make your presence be felt that way. That's how you fucking do it. And everybody just, oh, well, apparently Bar Wrestling was booking this show. Like, yeah, no shit. This really isn't news. So, again, I think the real travesty, everybody's jumping all up and down over Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan had the audacity to. No, I think what you guys really should be outraged about is the fact that in this day and age, when personal security, especially when it comes to your personal information and all that, fraud is popular now more than ever, especially with so many people being home because of this pandemic. A lot of people are doing everything online, even their shopping. Even when it comes to the basic essentials, people are shopping online essentially. We're online more and more. So we leave ourselves potentially exposed to some type of shenanigans happening out there on the dark web, where your information can be obtained by a third mutual party, and it's essentially shared on the black market for a small fee. And all of a sudden now you're getting calls, unsolicited emails, things of that nature. You feel where I'm coming from? So in this day and age where you want to just cross-reference, cross off all your X's and O's, make sure that everything is on fucking point. Research. Everybody's getting mad at fucking Joey Ryan for... Now look, I'm not defending Joey Ryan. All I'm saying is, if somebody is hiring, this is the best analogy I can use. Younger folks will even get this. You need a job, right? You needed a job like yesterday. You find one job that pretty much says, get paid $1,000 weekly, guaranteed. Hiring now. Call now. We'll pretty much hire on the spot. Now, I don't know about you, but one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to try to figure out as much information about that company as possible. I'm going to do my best to, okay, do I have a phone number? Okay, well, let me do a Bing Google search. Let me see what comes up when I punch in this phone number. If I have at least the name of the company, I'm going to do some type of combination. If all else fails, then I'm going to make sure that I protect my phone number. And then I call these people to find out exactly, okay, who are you guys? What exactly is this about? Remember what I always say, the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, why. As long as you have your 5 W's covered, you're fucking bulletproof. You'll always have the facts on your side. You don't know who the hell you could potentially be working for and what the hell you might be doing. So you really need to be making sure that, look, as I always like to say, the best consumer is an educated consumer. Hands down. Wins every fucking day of the week. So the real outrage that you fans should be having is, okay, wait a minute. Look, with regards to the talents, you know, I can put part of the blame on the talents, especially for the talents that pretty much, you know, hey man, I'm just trying to fill up my calendar. I'm just trying to make sure that I stay busy, because wrestling, you know, for some of these wrestlers, it is their full-time job. This is how they pretty much make their living or whatever. For other wrestlers, hey, I've got a 9 to 5, and on weekends right now, you know, I'm doing my thing with wrestling. So to be in a position where, hey, I'm just trying to get my weekends filled, I get that. I get that. They're just thinking about, I don't really have a bone to pick with that. I don't. And maybe they thought that, okay, nah, you know what, you know, this sounds like it's pretty good. You know, they're willing to bring me in. They're willing to pay, you know, how are you supposed to exactly get a red flag? You feel where I'm coming from? But for those wrestlers that pretty much have all their bookings set up through an agent, some type of a third party, those are the ones that, for fans, they should be going, what the fuck? They should be going, what the fuck? I've done enough over my years of podcasting. I've had my fair share of interacting with agents on behalf of wrestlers, celebrities, musicians, actors. I've done my fair share of working with some type of a third party entity. Hell, networks even, TV networks even, I've dealt with. And, you know, there is a lot of cross-referencing that goes down to make sure that ultimately their client is going to be in a good position where, no, you ain't got to worry about, they're good. So fans should be outraged at that. Number one, not sticking up for Joey Ryan, but fans, if you want to try to just point that compass in the right direction, I mean, it's not like he said, well, look, I'm the devil, but I'm going under the name of Tim. No, it literally, you know, he signed on the fucking application, devil. Mission go to send you to hell. It's kind of like one of those deals, seriously. That is just, now, we can all be in agreement, that is some fucking audacity. It really, really is. That is huge audacity for this guy to have. What massive balls this guy has. The audacity to do a wrestling event raising money for charity, you know, and you're hiding behind basically, oh, we're raising money for this charity here. We're trying to do this thing. Yeah, women power, girl power. Yeah, it's like, really, dude? Really? It just comes off so cheap. It comes off so tacky. It comes off so desperate. to have the galls to pull that move as a way to try to backdoor your way into pro wrestling. No, no. I truly believe that Joey Ryan, if you were to ask me straight up, I see no wrestling promotion that is ever, ever gonna want to work with him, because that level of scrutiny, just from a PR standpoint, it's bad on so many levels, because any and everybody associated, woo, it's very bad. It's toxic. It's white hot. Nobody's gonna want to fucking touch that. Nobody wants to be anywhere near that. So I don't see him ever being involved in pro wrestling again. Now, some of you may say, well, what about from a Vince Russo standpoint, Lee? Remember when Vince Russo secretly was hired by Impact? What if it's maybe, God, can you just imagine the level of WTF? I don't see any promotion even trying to entertain that idea of just having him come in. Well, look, hypothetically speaking, if you were that promoter and you wanted to try to do something with Joey, maybe have him work on your shows, the scripts, things of that nature, he pretty much would have to work remotely. But then even at that, it's like, okay, you have him working remotely and you have him going under, whatever different name you pretty much want to try to give him, or whatever code name. Would you even really want to risk that? Is it even worth? You feel where I'm coming from? No. So, I'll give you this. As far as today's generation goes of social outrage, very consistent. And I say that because we see that there's that new HBO documentary that's covering all the sexual allegations of Woody Allen. And it's still funny to me how everybody's going, on Woody Allen. And it's like, yeah, welcome to my world. Like me, my friends, and everybody else, family. Yeah, we knew about this for decades. And yet fucking Hollywood continued to turn a blind eye on this motherfucker. We got people that are so proud to work with Woody Allen, take pictures with him and laugh with him, and go to the little after parties and all that other fucking shit. And yet now that we've got this documentary that's putting the spotlight on all of those things that we remember hearing in real time back in the day, now we've got these same motherfuckers that were all buddy chum with him and everything going, oh, that's disgusting. Oh, I don't support. I don't condone. Oh, my heart is broken. I didn't know. And all the other. Please. Come on, man. But I like how social media has been reacting to it overall, just the level of outrage. So to see that level of outrage, and then just looking at what's going on here with this Joey Ryan situation, and then you can look at other examples, look at the R. Kelly situation. I'm just sitting on my hands, literally paying very close attention to what's going on there with T.I. and his wife, and the number of women that have came forward and accused them of sexual abuse and other shit. Curious where exactly that's going to go. And then we got the shit that's going on with Kumio in New York. Man. So, it's an interesting day and age that we're in right now, as far as how society is going about getting their information, being able to get it in real time, and pretty much responding that way. And it's been very consistent throughout. You feel what I'm saying? Very, very consistent. Yeah, I just don't see how a guy like Joey Ryan can ever, it's interesting because most of the comments that I had saw about this piece of news, a lot of people pretty much were go away, get the help that you need, become a better person, but stay the fuck away from the business. It's so funny because, and I wish I could share the picture with you, but I don't have it right now. I have it on my phone instead. But there was a hilarious picture I saw where somebody was selling an autographed belt that apparently Joey Ryan signed, and they were asking for $300 for it. And just the level of what the fuck comedic timing was awesome on it. You had so many people that were going, I'll give you a hot dog and a handshake for it. I'll give you -7 cents for it. Give me a pack of gum and a Marilyn Manson CD and, I'll take it off your hands for free. It was like one of those type of deals. Like, you even had people, look, let me tell you how bad this is. I don't know what's going on with his Patreon. I didn't even look at it. You know what? I tell you what, since we're here in real time, let's go for it. But there were even people that took to his Patreon and ripping him a new fucking asshole. They were just leaving comments left and right on his fucking Patreon. And seeing a lot of the comments where people were going, how the hell can anybody support this guy? What the fuck? I don't get this. What the hell? Blah this, blah that. And somehow he still has his Patreons. Somehow he still has them. And from what I'm able to see, it looks like he's been very active on his Patreon. Let me see. The last time he was active on a regular basis was July 22nd of 2020. But then February 16th was pretty much all about the reboot. And he pretty much was posting every other day, every couple of days. And last time he was active was on March 1st. So I'm sure with everything that had went down in the past couple of days, I'm pretty sure now he's kind of going, all right, what do I do here? You go away is what you need to do, and pretty much go from there. Pretty much go from there. But I'm speechless. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just speechless at that. Let's see. NWA. Been looking forward to talking about this all night. So apparently, NWA, if you missed it, Billy Corgan had put the announcement out there and everything. NWA is coming back. They are going to be doing a pay-per-view. I believe it's going to be happening. Let me look here, because I actually am looking at the synopsis here. So there's an event that's dubbed NWA Back for the Attack. That's going to be on Fight TV on Tuesday. And this pretty much, lets you know, oh shit, they're back. And apparently this is a pay-per-view event that's going to be happening on March the 21st. And March the 21st is a Sunday. Again, March 21st, it's on a Sunday. This event is going to be happening at 4 p.m., it looks like. You can get this event right now on Fight TV for $20. For $20, you can get this. And for those of you that's going, oh, hey, cool, NWA is coming back. Awesome, I missed it, blah this, blah that. You may have noticed within several days, NWA content on YouTube was pulled. Well, there's a little caveat to NWA coming back. So it would appear that going forward, NWA will be working with the Fight TV pay-per-view service provider for all of their content. So new episodes of NWA Power, which they, the song Into the Fire, they're keeping that. They were able to work out a deal, so they're keeping that. But their entire library, all of that shit, it's all pretty much on Fight TV now. For those of you that's wondering, okay, well, I'll be able to continue to watch it for free. you're going to have to pay a small fee to Fight TV to be able to access the shows. I know, it fucking sucks. So it really comes down to how bad do you want it? How bad do you care about NWA? How bad do you want to check them out on a regular basis? But there's no official release statement just yet regarding the event. Reports are that the next round of NWA tapings is probably going to be happening sometime between March 21st to March 24th. But they're coming back later this month, apparently. And the goal, pretty much next month, they're going to be rocking and rolling with new episodes of NWA Power and everything. So, you take in the bitter with the sweet. I think at this point, when we know more pricing information, maybe we can kind of go from there. I think what would be very feasible, honestly, is if you were to tell that NWA fan, hey, look, for $10 a month, you can see all the episodes of NWA Power whenever, wherever. And it would be cool if they maybe offer two different type of tiers. I think they should just offer the tier where, all right, all you want is NWA Power episodes. Okay, cool. And then maybe there should be another tier where you're paying a little bit more, like maybe you're paying $10 more, but in the process, you are able to get the NWA pay-per-view for like a credit back. You feel what I'm talking about? So if you were to maybe do $20 for NWA content a month, automatically by the end of the month, $5 would basically be credited to your Fight TV account, and it never expires. You could just pretty much let it roll over. And then maybe eventually when you have enough and you're like, okay, let me see what's out there, you could either use it for a future NWA iPay-per-view event, or you could use it to check out another iPay-per-view event from another promotion. You feel me? So I think that would be kind of cool if they maybe operated from that standpoint. I'm going to be watching this very closely, though. I find it very interesting. I find it very interesting that they are going the Fight TV route rather than really be in control and just continue to do their thing on YouTube I was going to say YouTube TV. I wish it was YouTube TV, but continue to do their thing on YouTube. Billy Corgan said that, they were never financially in dire straits or anything. This was just all about figuring out what their next strategic move was going to be and everything. And I would have thought that with the nice amount of people that were signing up for the NWA's Patreon content, that YouTube, I would have thought maybe that, but with Fight TV, look, you guys know I'm a partner with Fight TV too. So we usually stream our content with them, and I'm still trying to work out the kinks and figuring out when we're gonna launch an exclusive show with them. But definitely, I got to sit down and actually figure out what I want to cover and all that. But yeah, at some point it's definitely gonna happen. But yeah, very, very interesting what's going on there. I'm not really sure how I feel about this pay-to-play scheme. And I mean scheme not from, a scheming, you're being manipulative. I don't mean from that, just from a cosmetic standpoint. I'm not really sure how I feel about this business practice just yet, and if it will truly be successful. I'm a little bit on the fence about that. I think first I would have to see the press releases, get the information about where they're going with the pricing, and then maybe kind of go from there. But if they were to do like a $5-10 thing, I think that would be I think they'd be very profitable. I think they would be very, very profitable. I think anything higher than $10, I don't know about that. I'm a little leery. I'm a little leery on that one. Let's see. Other than that, anything else? Oh, hey, told you guys I was gonna do my best to pay attention to the Raw ratings. So check this out. Showbuzz Daily, they got the ratings out for Raw. So they did pretty good for the most part. The title switch, it looks like that did not have a significant impact on the overall viewership, but the audience was pretty steady throughout the hours. So it looks like it drew an average audience of 1.884 million on the USA Network. So this is slightly down, just a little bit. It's slightly down from last week's viewership of 1.890 million viewers. So when you look at the hourly breakdowns, the first hour did 1.916 million viewers. Hour 2 did 1.918 million viewers. And the third final hour did 1.817 million viewers. Was ranked number 8 on cable in total viewership. For the 18 to 49 key demos, hour 1 drew a 0.58 rating to rank number 2 for the night. Hour 2 finished with a 0.60 rating to rank number 2 in the ratings for the evening. And finally, hour 3 drew a 0.57 rating to rank number 3 for the evening in the cable top 150 rankings. It finished with a average 0.58 rating in the key demo, which is up from last week's 0.57 ratings. So steady, but now we need to really see, okay, so going into next week, all right, what's going to happen now that everybody knows that there is a new champion out there? You know, is that really going to pique the interest and, you know, have even more fans flock to the Raw flagship show out of curiosity and see what's going on? Now we're really going to be able to see what's up. So next week is really the true tale. So we'll see what happens there. Let's see. Other than that, let me look here. Other than that, I'm not gonna I won't touch that. I'll touch that on Friday. That can actually wait till Friday. It's some NJPW news, but that can actually wait until the Friday show. And also, I'll share with you one other thing that I wanted to pass along. There apparently was a ladies' night out event from February 27th. Hurricane Pro Wrestling Ladies Night Out and Queens of the Ring. They held a joint event called The Show over the weekend, and it featured Shane Taylor in the main event. Just some quick results. Jared Wayne pinned Ashton Jacobs. And then you had the Hurricane Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions, Tamaku and Jordan Jensen, winning a triple threat tag match over Ricardo Cage and Alexander Frey, Billy Wayne and Chris Sidno, right? Renee Michelle defeated Casey Lennox. Alley Cat defeated Claudia Del Solis. You had the Hurricane Pro Wrestling Cruiserweight Champion Miranda Aliz beat Nate Andrews. Jordan Grace defeated Genocide. I love that name and just the way that it's spelled too. Jennacide. I love that. Hurricane Pro Wrestling Women's Champion Heather Monroe won a triple threat match against Mahdi and Vipress. And Deonna Purrazzo, there's my favorite girl. Deonna Purrazzo defeated the Ladies Night Out champion Eva Lise Velez by disqualification. And then you had Shane Taylor went out to a double DQ pull-apart brawl with the Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion Ryan Davidson. So that pretty much was all that went down with that event. So I want to share along that information with you. I actually had looked at just a tiny little bit, like out of 100%, I actually looked at about 10% of it, but I sadly was very into studies and all that, so I really didn't get a chance to finish it up, sadly. Hopefully I can finish checking it out this weekend. But from what I saw, actually had looked pretty good. So you guys are maybe interested, check it out when you guys get a chance. All right, so on that note, I'm gonna say this show, we can stick a fork in it. We can call it DONE, done. Your next edition of the RCWR show, we'll see how Friday goes. Friday, there could be a show. But then again, there may not be a show. I know one thing's for sure. We're definitely going to be covering AEW Revolution. We're definitely going to be covering that. So I'm looking forward to covering that pay-per-view event. So make sure you join me for that. Stay connected on social media. If I do end up doing a Friday night show, first outlets you're going to hear about it is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the RCWR Show. I'll let you know a couple of hours beforehand. Definitely midway throughout the day, I'll let you know if there's going to be a show or not. By the way, before you ask, for those of you that are interested in checking out that show, Ladies Night Out, Title Match Network. That's how you access it. For those of you that might be a little bit curious and you want to watch it, Title Match Network. That's how you would be able to watch it. But unless there's no show Friday, then Sunday. I said Saturday, didn't I? I'm so sorry about that. I'm getting in a bad habit. AEW. This Sunday will definitely be live after AEW's Revolution goes off the air. But meantime, be kind, rewind, check out previous content available wherever you get your podcasts. There's a lot of stuff that was released. I know for Monday's RCWR show, I finally released it early Wednesday morning. What else? You got the Black Lightning unboxing and review. You got the One Chip Challenge that's available right now. Patreon members, you guys get to see the Patreon exclusive version. You get to see cuts that didn't make the friendly version that's floating around out there. So scoop that up when you guys get a chance. What else? Yeah, loads of stuff. Just, go check them out, man. Check out the YouTube channel and listen to the shows wherever you get your podcast. Check out the content there. By the way, in case you all don't know, the show is now available on Amazon Music and Audible. Just use the keywords the RCWR show. You don't need to pay for those platforms. Just if it's a case where you're frequently using those outlets for streaming your music, podcasts, things of that nature, we're now on there. So check that out. And yeah, that is pretty much going to do it. So until next go round, unless you got other plans, I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see y'all next go around. Y'all do take care. Good night.